There's one J. Cole bar that I could never forgive. What's up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to COBMG. Join that membership. And all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. It feels like we're in a hip-hop media civil war. It feels like people are choosing sides, and it's shocking, honestly, how it's almost, I'm not going to say down the middle, but it's getting pretty close that I'm starting to see some of my constituents are having a little conflict, the internal conflict with where to put J. Cole in the history of hip-hop. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm sure you're on YouTube just like me. I'm sure you're noticing some of your faves are kind of starting to blur the lines like, are we done with this J. Cole hate? It's starting to become the narrative. I don't know what's happening, gang, but I'm here to tell you that there's a reason why we're standing tough on this, and it's starting to feel like people are starting to lean. Maybe it's the announcement commercial being so good and intriguing, and maybe it's just this affinity that we all have had for J. Cole up until recently, up until the last. I know a few people say, I never liked J. Cole, but we've always, especially hip-hop heads, we've always had an affinity for Cole, even if we didn't always find his music to be as engaging. And I know a lot of you like to say Sleepy Cole, this, that, and the third, right? But I always had an affinity for Cole because he made his own beats and he wrote his own raps. I'm not going, you're getting points for that, right? Yeah, to me, that right there sets you apart. If you're a decent enough artist to make your own beats, that means you studied this craft double time. You didn't just write raps over other people's beats. You learn how to use an MPC. You learn how to make beats on an MPC, which is no easy. Listen, gang, I learned that shit too. It ain't easy to freak an MPC. You get a badge of honor with that shit. Something comes with learning an MPC or even Fruity Loops. I did both. It's a badge of honor to learn that because you download Fruity Loops, you sit there and you look at all these beeps and bloops, and you got to learn how to slice and dice and make that shit into real music. And I know for a long time, the MPC users were a little critical. They were snobs over the Fruity Loops. Let's be honest. The Fruity Loops guys, and God forbid, you Pro Tool motherfuckers, you couldn't even speak open. We couldn't even speak openly to you niggas. You're like, not until you learn the tool and shit on some fuck shit. But at the end of the day, a guy that knows how to make his own beats, he has to have a place in hip hop just already, whether the beats are trash or not. But J. Cole was making pretty decent beats, and he's making pretty decent raps. So he already had a leg up in this culture. So we automatically gave J. Cole that stamp of approval, right? He's from that little brother regime, that Black Thought era type of MC. And we and for a time it was good. And we always gave J. Cole the heads up. So I think he's getting the love from these guys right now. I'm not one of them, right? But because I'm standing on, he can rap about whatever he wants. He just can't come in big bone and brolic talking about I eat them C's and all this crazy shit, because that's only reserved for niggas that's really gonna eat them C's when it's time to eat them C's, okay? So end of the day, J. Cole, I told you, he reached the pinnacle. When I saw J. Cole, and salute to Benny the Butcher, on that Benny the Butcher, Johnny P's Caddy, if you watch this channel for any amount of time, you're gonna know from the time that dropped until right now, I say J. Cole was the apex predator of hip-hop on that song. I say the verse of the year, Johnny P's Caddy. Some of you don't agree, but most do. I've never seen an MC look this tall and regal and effortlessly. At that point, this dude was Super Saiyan level rapper. And I'm looking at him in awe because as a writer and a rapper, it's not easy to do what J. Cole did. He had already effectively for 3 years straight destroyed every feature, right? And God bless Benny the Butcher. I say it all the time. He held his own. He held his own on that shit. I love Benny the Butcher's verse, but it's just J. Cole was just in another level. He learned how to do super precise lyricism and make it look like it was nothing. It's like a dude doing bunny house. What's this dude? It's a guy. I see him on Facebook, but I'm sure he's on a lot of other shit. And I think he is for the shooters or some guy. He shoots these 3-pointers all fucking day like that. He talks and he shoots the 3-pointers, talks and shit, never misses. Keeps shooting, da-da-da. He has all these stars on there, Don Cheadle, and different people. And he just shoots these fucking shots effortlessly. Half-court shots, bang, bang, bang. don't remember the guy's name offhand. But it's some shit like that. It's looking effortlessly. It's like all I got to do is just want to hit the bucket and I'll hit it. J. Cole was effortlessly doing these features. And when he hit this Johnny P Super Saiyan level shit, I was like, yo, that's it. This guy hit a pinnacle. There's nothing else to say. There's nobody really fucking with this guy, J. Cole, right now with these features, right? So I had to be reminded when all this stuff went down, he broke my heart just like everybody else's heart. When he backed away from the battle that he jumped in first, let's just be honest. Stop saying like that was a diss record. Like that was a warning shot at best. At worst, it's a sub. Like people get subbed every day. They don't come out with records called 7-Minute Drill. Dissing somebody's whole catalog. So J. Cole struck first. Right? I keep telling you, on like that, all he said was, y'all kissing and hugging on stage. Ain't no big three. It's just big me. And time for the boy to prove that he's a problem. That's not nothing enough for you to jump out with a whole diss record. Cole got gassed up. Did 7-Minute Drill. Allegedly writes the rhyme in 7 minutes, right? And came out with the record. It was whoop-de-doo, right? It was goony-goo-goo, and we was not impressed. J. Cole felt that we wasn't impressed. He went back and listened to it again. He was like, you know what? These niggas right. Half this shit is boo-boo. So I'm going to go ahead and bow out. He bowed out of a battle. We're like, oh, shit, this guy was talking big bone and brolic, and now he's bowing out the battle. So we were like, good, get riddance. We don't need no weak-ass shit in here. Now, where we at this point, the battle was almost 2 years ago, right? All this stuff took place we almost at the 2-year mark. J. Cole has now decided to release the Fall Off, which took goddamn 10 years, right? So he been making this shit since Stranger Things came out. So now he's decided to have a release. I believe it's February 6th or some crazy shit like that. And now a lot of people are changing their tune about what they saw with their own 2 eyes. Guys that were like, oh, Cole, don't do this, are now starting to say, are you guys done with, you're still criticizing Cole and you're still talking about Cole backed out of a battle? That doesn't negate all the things that he's done in his career. And you're right. And guess what I'm going to say to that? I was watching Salute the Rapaholics the other day. He did a breakdown of J. Cole, and it was a very detailed breakdown, very precise, and I enjoy. Just like I watched the leaders breakdown, very very interesting. You watch him and you're just going through them, listening to what they're saying. And Rapaholic said something, and it fucking clicked, gang. And I'm gonna tell you about this one bar to all my constituents and YouTubers that are kind of on the fence, like Wayno and these different guys that are saying that we got to let it go, give it a rest, that J. Cole, finally, he served his penance, and we got to move on. J. Cole should be able to rap about anything he want to rap about. This nigga J. Cole said, I put your favorite rapper neck in a noose, never letting them loose. Out of all the shit this nigga said, he said some Super Saiyan shit on that song. Gang, he said, I'm going to put your favorite rapper neck in a fucking noose. Ooh, spicy. That's some spicy shit, gang. You telling me whoever I like, you'll come put a noose on this nigga, yoke his ass up, kill his ass right there on the spot lyrically. You said a lot of dope shit. Let me read that. He said, this is what he said in that record. Because the record was barking. Nigga said some wild shit like last of the Mohicans, no weekends last in my sneakers. He was saying some big bone shit. But that line right there was the craziest shit. Let me refresh your memory. Cole said, but that just mean I ain't as comfortable with y'all. I said, but that just mean I ain't as comfortable as y'all with lying. He was talking about niggas with these drug dealing raps acting tough, right? Stretching the truth. No, I never stress in the booth. I'm telling you, this nigga was like, he had on some gym socks. Like, this motherfucker was cool. Some sweatpants. He said, stretching the truth. No, I never stress in the booth. They feel the pressure. Me, I feel like I just left the masseuse. Nigga. This nigga J. Cole, this nigga just, he floating on this shit, dog. I feel like I just left the masseuse. Y'all niggas stressing over you around you. You cutting up your stanzas, trying to get these bars right. And me, I do this shit. Like, I wake up in the morning, the rhymes just come out. Nigga, it's nothing. Then he go and say, effortless, how I'm skating on these records is proof. I put your favorite rapper neck in the noose, never letting them loose. Gang, listen, you tell me my favorite rapper, name him. I'm a lynch that nigga. This is what he said pre-battle, gang. I'll let everything else slide. Every other rhyme he ever said. He said a lot of great verses. But you telling me my favorite rapper. So if I say, yo, guess what? I got a top 10 list, but right now, present day, what year was this? He said that. I think that was 2023. Present day, I'm going to say Kendrick, my favorite rapper. And you know what he has to do at that point? Noose that nigga. He got to put his neck in a noose. Because he said, I will put your favorite rapper. That means anybody. Do you understand how hard that line is, gang? You came back down after you said, I'm going to put your favorite rapper neck in a noose. Never letting him loose. So he could just hang this nigga like this, and this nigga could never get loose until J. Cole decides to graciously let him down. This some big bone brolic shit. This next level shit. That bar might be one of the hardest bars you've ever heard. And we heard some wild ass shit. Right? I think MC Ren told Ice Cube he was gonna shave his hair off and put a broomstick up his butt. Right? And that's pretty goddamn vicious too. Let's just be honest. Well, we know MC Ren ain't lyrically able to do that to no goddamn Ice Cube. We know that. Because then Ice Cube came back with no Vaseline. But at the end of the day, we're talking about J. Cole. This nigga J. Cole said, I put your favorite rapper neck in a noose, never letting him loose. And then we saw what happened. Kendrick never got a chance to say one goddamn word. J. Cole folded up about, 4-5 days later at his own goddamn festival? They want us to stop talking about it. They all in my comments, you still talking about this, old man? You ain't letting this go? Well, guess what? I'm still waiting on this nigga J. Cole to put my favorite rapper neck in a noose. Like he said he was going to do. He said that if your favorite rapper step up to the plate, I'll dead his ass. And this is what my constituents want me to forget. They want me to think that J. Cole is some kind of monk. Right? I just watched another video. I think the guy's called Mike Drop TV or some shit. Did a very concise video. I probably put it in the beginning of this video. Did a very concise video, right? And he broke down how J. Cole bounces from this to that when it's convenient, right? He'll attack the people that really can't fight back. He'll attack Lil Pump, but he'll talk to Lil Durk in private, right? Which arguably Lil Durk is doing more damage to the shit than a Lil Pump. But you attack Lil Pump openly, right? They said that homeboy said that everybody he attacks, when the winds change, he changes his tone on him. He attacked Kanye openly. Then when people started to say, but what about Kanye's mental health? And they started, the narrative started to switch that Kanye was suffering from something and people were being insensitive. Remember when was it J. Cole that said something about, no, was it Kid Cudi? Or both of them said something about Kanye when Kanye got admitted for whatever mental thing he was going through at the time. Remember, he was on that floating stage. He was on tour spazzing about Jay-Z, this, that, and the third. And Beyonce, Jay, don't kill me, bro. Right? Remember, he was bugging out. Then he had to go sit down and get treatment. Somebody tweeted something about him. All of a sudden, Twitter became psychotherapists. Like, they were like, no, don't do this. Kanye's in trouble right now. He's going to get the help he needs, right? Did he get the fucking help? Did he help? Did it work? But at the end of the day, the tides had turned. So J. Cole started to hit everybody with that mental health shit out of nowhere. Now he's on the same team as the fans on Twitter, right? This is before Twitter was as bad as Twitter was always bad, but it wasn't this bad, right? So end of the day, they were making the case that J. Cole flip-flops and this, that, and the third. He'll say one thing and then do another. Well, guess what? My favorite rapper came out with a record called Like That. You came out with a record called 7 Minute Drill. Before my favorite rapper came back with a response, right? You told him you're gonna take it on the chin if you feel away, right? You went on down that Dreamville and you said, man, it's been a rough 2 days. I ain't been able to sleep. I ain't been able to get nothing down. I can't eat nothing but Jell-O. You said, how y'all feel about Kendrick Lamar? Ain't he the greatest? You just had a record called 7 Minute Drill on your album. I might delete later. And anybody with any real common sense like myself, we know that it was a move to sell the units of Might Delete Later. We know that. Ain't nobody, like, who don't know that? Who don't know that you used the diss record of Kendrick Lamar to push the units of the Might Delete Later? We already know that. So you went up on the stage and said, I'm going to delete that record because it was the lamest thing I ever done in my life. I feel like I'm off my spiritual journey. What spiritual journey was you on? You said, I put your favorite rapper neck in a noose. That was a year before that. Right? You left the masseuse. You was stretching, right? You had your Globetrotter sweatpants on. You was good. End of the day, right? So what I'm saying is, That bar right there should disqualify any of this monk talk. Like, he had a moment of weakness. These fans want us to really be like, you know what? J. Cole, he had a moment of weakness when he made that record about K. Dot. No, I think it was all the shit he really was thinking. And he finally got a reason to say it. So he said it, and it didn't land because it don't make no sense. You're going to say K-Dot don't have no classics, or he got one and the rest is do. You try to mimic the Jay-Z attack on Nas from The Takeover. You try to line it up like that, and it didn't work. Well, you wrote the shit in 7 minutes. Of course it's going to fumble. You needed to take more time, gang. So at the end of the day, we saw you not accomplish your mission to stir up a battle and make everybody say, your turn, Dot, you on the clock. The majority of hip-hop, I'm going to go so far as to say 75, 80%. Of hip-hop was like, this ain't it, Cole. And Cole knew it wasn't it. That's why Cole backed out the battle. Wasn't no moment of weakness. Now I got my clarity back. Cole's stomach was in a knot because he realized he threw a record out that was doo-doo. And everybody was like, Cole, this is not it, bro. And he was like, you know what? If I really want to impress these motherfuckers, I got to go really hard. And he not built for that because he ain't going to be able to apologize his way out of that. So he apologized before he went really hard and said, I'm going to delete the record. Can you guys forgive me? I'm going to get back on my spiritual journey. And we've already heard him on 2 different records since that happened saying he the best rapper alive. So we're not jacking it. I am a hip-hop rapper, gang. I am a person that loves hip-hop. And I want to see my favorite rapper neck in the noose. I want to see what you're going to do to him because you just left the masseuse. No weaklings in my shoes. All this big bone brolic talk you was talking. I want to see that shit because you can't write all that shit and not feel like that way. And if you felt that way when you wrote it, why you don't feel it now? Make sense. If you was all big bone and brolic all them years, what happened? Why is all of a sudden your spiritual journey won't allow you to diss niggas no more? Because what? You made a record that flopped, that didn't go well in hip-hop. Now you a monk again, smoking ayahuasca? It don't make no sense. My constituents, you guys are missing the plot because you like J. Cole and you want to be able to review this album without people kicking your teeth and saying, yo, what's going on? Right? This is where we're going. I feel like some of my guys are protecting themselves so when they come out and say the album is nice, they jumping in front of us with the critique. We're going to say whatever. Now, if the album's nice, it's nice. But if he talks some big bone brolic, let's be honest. Let's peel back the layers of this. How can you make an album about your whole life that's supposed to be your last album, you call it The Fall Off, without talking about how good you were in that life? So you're going to have to talk really reckless about yourself for a point in time. You've been taking 10 years on this thing. So you're going to have some moments on this album where you're talking mad crazy, right? Nobody's going to say the album is really good if you're not talking that shit. Let's just be honest. That's like a fucking Clips album where Push ain't talking his shit. Imagine how crazy that's going to sound. Imagine Malice and Pusha, the whole album is talking like how sad they are. Like, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm good on that Clips sad-ass record. So at the end of the day, The Fall Off can't be this sad-ass record. He got to talk his shit. Some of my constituents are trying to get in front of that because they know he's going to talk his shit. So they're trying to get in front of it before they come out and say, yo, the album's fire, and everybody like the comments up. That shit, that nigga can't say he the fucking best no more. So what it is I think some guys are trying to get in front of it so they can kind of protect Cole. So when this album does drop, they can still hold their head up and say that the album's fire. I'm just going to be honest. So I haven't heard everybody that's saying it, but I've heard some. And quite a few guys are like, yo, let's move forward. Let's not keep holding this against Cole. Look at his legendary career. He has a legendary career. But at the same time, he built that career on saying he was something that he couldn't prove when it was time to prove it. Right? We watch Cole go big bone and brolic, and we not jacking it. End of the day, what I'm going to say right now, I'm going to listen to The Fall Off. I'm going to give it a spin. I'm going to take it for what it is. I'm going to let him talk whatever he's going to talk, but I'm going to have an opinion about it, guys. And to me, you cannot be the greatest rapper alive if it was time to put the neck in the noose and you threw the rope down and you went to the corner store and got a quarter water or something, and then you rode your bike home and you never fought. And then you went home where you fought, but you didn't finish fighting. You swung, you missed, you went home, right? We saw you. So we can't give you the credit for being big bone and brolic no more when you wasn't big bone and brolic when it was time to be. And to my constituents, y'all gotta stop. You're trying to skew this narrative, and it's kind of getting a little wonky, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. You guys are kind of like trying to float this boat and you're relentless about it. You're coming at Fat Joe, who said the truth. He was 100% right. Joe, you can't talk big bone talk when it was time to get big bone and you got small. All right? I'm done talking about this. Let the fall off be what it's going to be. But to me, if a rapper told me, and I wrote a lot of rhymes in my career, I watched a lot of battles where they were in the place of business to battle and battle on the street. I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen battle records be released back and forth. We've seen this for years. Almost all of your hip-hop life, you've seen battles, and you've never seen a guy do a battle, make a record, and before the other guy can even respond, delete the record and apologize for it and tell the other guy, we still cool, right? I don't want to lose you as a friend. You ain't never see that before, and you will never see it again because it don't happen. We've seen the most unprecedented shit happen in the last year, 2 years with Drake and the so-called Big Three and Kendrick and J. Cole. We've seen the most ridiculous shit from guys that we had so much hope for, right? Big as the Super Bowl, this, that, and the third. We've seen K-Dot outlast all these motherfuckers, and they ain't say half. The motherfucker dropped one record. He dropped GNX, went on the Super Bowl run, went on the world tour, stopped talking about these niggas. He don't even respond to their texts no more, and everybody else is spiraling. Got Drake doing lawsuits and appeals to the lawsuit, and J. Cole riding around in mystery talking about this fucking album he gonna randomly drop out of nowhere, right? About his whole fucking life, then he's done rapping. Might not see the nigga no more. So it's weird shit, gang. End of the day, man, I'm feeling like if you was gonna put my favorite rapper neck in the noose and you didn't do it, there's nothing else to talk about. End of fucking story. That's it. That's all. I'm out of here. CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. Every Wednesday night, we go live on The What Show, me, TJ, and Fliz, 9:15 on all my social media platforms. And we got a new record called The What Project, featuring the song This, That, featuring me, TJ, and Fliz. We barking on there. Some real hip-hop. Go watch that video. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. I'm out of here. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When Pistol Grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there, we out. Grab my pocket knife too, let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.